And we're back. Hello everybody, DarkPhoenix Gaming here, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 as Japan. Been a couple of weeks since I've been able to stream this, but unfortunately real life can be a bit of a bitch sometimes, as some of you are no doubt aware. Anyways, last time we left off, we were doing a whole boatload of naval training exercises while getting our people ready for an inevitable war with China. This fleet right here is currently the only one that hasn't met its training quota yet. Well, this one and a handful of others, I suppose, who we're still kind of working on. But we'll work on that some more this time. It's sapping our fuel a little bit, but we've got about 3 years worth of it, and I will stop that at some point or other. I have also got one free military factory that I can put over on doing something. First, let's check what we're doing. As we're trying to train out troops, but infantry equipment. Yeah, apparently infantry equipment is the thing that we need more of for training troops, because we also have to reinforce people with it. So we'll put that in infantry equipment. We're slightly lacking in steel, but I'm going to put off trading for steel for the time being. So for now, let's just take the opportunity to refresh our memory on where we're going here. Right now, I have us going down the National Focus Army expansion, because I want to get a little further down here to get some buffs to our army. At some point, very, very soon though, we are going to be taking the focus stuff to go after China. Because they're China, and they suck. And we are Japan, and we don't like them. There's clearly no more reason than that we need to go to war with the bastards, right? Of course. I am objectively correct about this, and if you say I am not, then you are wrong. Sorry about that. I had to Alt-Tab out real quick to check on something and accidentally hit the key that I have set up to engage my mute button, for lack of a better phrase. Anyways, with all of that, I I think we can safely say that we now are going to want to get started for goodsies. As to what we're going to actually do... Well, first, we'd better increase the speed, otherwise this will be very boring. Because we're still in that kind of slow stage of the game, where not a whole lot happens, so... Yes. We'll just kind of let time tick along and have stuff happen. Well, we get through a couple national focuses, I think. That's going to be the thing that we're doing early on. Also, if you remember from last time, Communist China was attacked by actual China. So if we can very quickly plow through Shanxi here and just hit Communist China from behind, maybe we can knock them out before this becomes an issue. We don't have high enough world tension to justify war on Shanxi. The German Reich, though, German Reich has been annexed by the German military junta. Essentially, there was a rebellion in Germany, if you remember last time, by August von Mackensen, the most glorious man with the most glorious hat in the history of hats ever. And Mr. Mackensen here has now overthrown the German Reich's government under Hitler, which has also caused the Rhineland to be able to be remilitarized again because of magic, or some such. Not that we really care about that much. I mean, Germany was a potential ally in Europe, but we don't need an ally in Europe. We don't care about Europe. We care about Asia and yoinking it. But no more tripartite pact. Unfortunately, they don't have a fascist government, so that's not a thing we can do. The German Civil War has now ended. Civil War that has wrecked Germany has now come to an end. The fighting was extraordinarily intense, with fanatical resistance by the Nazis causing devastation on a scale reminiscent of the Great War. It appears that Hitler is dead and the Nazi leadership imprisoned or executed. The provisional government has announced it is necessary to secure their hold over the state and ensure the return of stability to the nation before there can be any thought of embarking on a process of constitutional reforms. Let's hope they're more accommodating. Well, I think as Japan, we probably would have found the old regime plenty accommodating. Okay. Had to go into my settings and raise the audio a bit because I was not doing so hot at that. Some of our rubber import requests from Siam are not being fulfilled, which is annoying. I think we're going to need some steel. Hey Germany, you mind trading with me? I could do with some steel. And they're cool with it. So we'll just keep at things, and I'm going to kick us up to 4 speed now, so that we can get things ticking along nice and quickly. we've got a couple of months before army expansion is done. Now, what do I want to do after army expansion is the question. That's going to give us a drill genius chief of the army, which will be nice. I think from there, I will actually take supremacy of will. But at that point, once we get supremacy of will, I'm going for the Marco Polo Bridge incident. And we will be taking the initiative against China. So, 2 more national focuses, including the one we've got right now, then we go after China. I think these guys, even though they have one ship that hasn't made it to regular yet, and is instead only trained, I think we'd better take them off their training exercise. And you can all go home and get your butts fixed up. How about you? No, you're nowhere near being done. You lot have one destroyer that is taking its sweet-ass fucking time to finish up its training. Have I mentioned how annoying that is? This destroyer only just finishes, and it was at that fort basically forever. But now you go home and get fixed up. You can keep at it. Those 3 can potentially go on repair mode soon. You have a couple people who are still working on this. As do you. Let's see, is there anywhere else I want to put out on training exercises? Yes, actually, this fleet here has 1 destroyer with no combat experience. You guys can go do some training as well. So now, get on that for me, please. Alright. I can leave the fleets to do their own thing for now. We're about to be full up on fuel too, which is nice. And so I'm kind of limiting what I'm training and such. It's kind of handy to be able to do. But I think we need to get a naval invasion set up. To be able to start working on this. You can plan to invade Shanghai. Won't be ready for a good long while. Well, I take that back, it'll only take 14 days to be ready. But that's going to mean we can hit China where it hurts. Carrier fighters. I'll need to get ready to stick those out. We have some free dockyards right now. I'm going to have us start working on some more destroyers. I'll just stick them in whatever fleet I can think of. Though it might be a better idea to actually go through them and see which of my fleets are lacking in destroyers. You have 10 destroyers. That fleet's nothing but submarines. You got plenty. 6 there's good, I suppose. Let's see. 2 Kantai here. This fleet is basically nothing but capital ships. It's some heavy cruisers and a carrier. They need a few destroyers, I think, for screening ships and such. And miraculously, that is where I assigned their deployment, completely by accident. So that'll be nice. And those will keep coming basically forever, so I can just reassign where necessary. Also, some more guns for our infantry, please. We are really gonna need that, and in fact, until we max that out, you can send every new factory we get into infantry equipment. Just to make our lives that little bit easier, and all. Rubber from Siam is annoying us again. Carrier fighters. We have a decent chunk of planes in reserve, but I'm waiting to assign those until it becomes actually relevant. At the moment, that's Type 95 Hago tank is done. It's only 37, so we can research something else. Let's see. What to go with. Special forces can wait. We're still working on Grand Battle Plan. Research them destroyers. Field Hospital 1. We got done. Also, get me military police. Might as well get it early for when we do finally get into the whole occupation thing. You, can go join up with our Marines there. And you can be part of the battle plan. Hopefully that helps us out when it comes time to fight China. And I'm gonna go ahead and deploy that one unit a bit early. And once again assign them like that. Type 94 tankette is in production. Let's get that Hago tank being produced instead, so we have something worth a damn coming out. Now, let me see. Theorist. A Grand Battle Plan expert is going to cost us 250 political power. We only have 150, so I'm going to continue saving up for that right now. But 10 days until we hit army expansion, and then I can move on to the next thing in my list of stuff I need for this, because it's cool, yo. The technical term, don't you know? As of right now, our Marines are ready for that invasion. So, if we were to deploy our fleets in that area to cover their coast and everything, then, and we were at war with China tomorrow, then we could theoretically pull it off. Army expansion is done. That's another chief of the army. Next, supremacy of will. That would give us the national spirit of superior will for increased division recovery rate, division attack, and division defense. This basically makes all our armies better. Makes them objectively better. The left is ascendant in France, apparently. Following close to 2 decades of political turmoil, the people of France feel they have yet to regain what was lost in the Great War. The French have set their sights on reconstructing the French state, with her people and for her people. These new political reforms enable the flourishing of workers' unions and communist organizations. France continues down this path. They are set for a political realignment towards the far left, or even a full-scale revolution. Yes, certainly a sign of their weakness. And France is going to be going communist in this run. That's a thing. Also, Austria has voted to unite with Hungary. Because, if you remember from last time around, the Hungarians decided to go for actually getting a king in charge again, and they have now had a referendum in Austria, who have voted yes, so they'll be restoring Austria-Hungary soon. We're looking at a very interesting looking Central Europe. Now it just remains to see what Germany will do. Are they going to put the Kaiser back on the throne? Become a democracy or what? Who really knows, honestly? Apparently China is pushing forward against Commie China. I'm putting us on the fastest speed just so we can get through supremacy of will quicker. I would like to get to the point where that is done, because then we can just go Marco Polo Bridge incident right away. And we've had the Hindenburg disaster. The Hindenburg has been destroyed. There is actually, as it happens, a chance the Hindenburg can survive, but that's pretty weighted against the possibility of it happening, quite honestly. So I wasn't too surprised to see that, even if I have a lot of stuff set on random at the moment. They're taking their time to get done. These fellows finish their training so they can go home. There's still a couple of ships in this fleet that aren't done training just yet. Same with this one. So I'll leave them be. Now, supremacy of will. About a month and a half left to go on that. Come on. Going to take a while to get our Marines ready to go. But the other troops we have over here that are going to be making their way to the mainland, some of them should be finishing soon. And indeed they are. But I'll leave it at just one for now. We'll want to add to those mere 7 divisions we have on the border with China over there, in comparison to the 24 over at Shanxi. You can ship yourself over to the mainland and make that army a bit larger, if you would. Thank you for that. Should be a few more of everything coming in soon. There. Now the lot of you can join them. Some of you are kind of inexperienced, but you can get your experience by being shot at and shooting at people. And quite frankly, best way out there to get combat experience is when there are lots of bullets coming in your general direction. Amelia Earhart has circumnavigated the globe. Yes, another one of the historical events that can kind of get thrown off a bit. In terms of being ahistorical, as has happened here, she survived and didn't mysteriously go missing. Which I believe that actually means that the United States can get her as an ace pilot when they start getting involved in the war, but I'm not totally sure about that, honestly. So don't quote me on that. Construction. Still got plenty of that ongoing. And I still need to get our grand battle plan expert, meaning we need about another 30 political power. And then I'm going to burn it all on getting a grand battle plan expert. Because I basically always do that. I want to have the battle plan expert before we start fighting our war. Even if it's maybe not the smartest approach to take. And Mitsubishi is done. Let's remind myself which one that is. That's the tactical bomber, the 1936 one. I'm gonna get heavy fighters, just in case we need some stronger fighter escort available. I'm also going to stop producing the interwar bombs, because those are kind of shit. And start producing the ones that are actually good. So there we go. Produce the fighter we actually want, rather than this shit from in between the wars and stuff. The Supremacy of Will be finished now. For some very nice bonuses. And at this point, I think it is time to start moving towards provoking an incident with China. Marco Polo Bridge incident, I think. Japan is poor in resources, but our neighbors are not. We must take from them what we lack, and only require an excuse to begin doing so. Such an excuse could be provided by a few enterprising soldiers. Afterwards, the Emperor will have no choice but to assent to a war, no matter how ill-prepared. ... Unlocks a decision to escalate the war in China. That's going to be my next goal. We're going to be starting the war with China. Little Entente reaffirmed. Interesting. So, Czechoslovakia has announced the almost defunct Little Entente alliance system will stand by their commitments. Czechoslovakia is not a great power, but it is a regional power. An alliance of regional powers can and will prevent the great powers from meddling in our affairs. So, who is actually in this alliance? So far it's just Yugoslavia and Czechoslovakia. It's possible that Romania might get involved, but I wonder how this will affect the Austro-Hungarian Reformation event chain, because Hungary, once they become Austria-Hungary, gets the ability to demand Czechoslovakia rejoin them. And if Czechoslovakia is part of an alliance, I wonder how that will affect things. Interesting, if nothing else. Should be interesting. Okay, you guys are done with your training. Go fix yourselves up. How about the other two? You are also done with your training. Dock up. Those battleships can keep at it for now, I suppose. So I'm going to have a few more fleets go off in exercise to replace those. Those ones there are repairing. You can also get at it. I'll have a few more fleet training exercises on the go. Communist China is getting their ass whooped by actual China. So that's kind of interesting. A few more days and we'll be able to get our grand battle plan guy, and about 2 months until we can hit Marco Polo Bridge incident time. I'll let it go over 1 day more, just so we make sure we have enough. Now, Yamashita, please join us and give us your battle plan buff thingamawhatsit. Go on then. I'm going to put that on there. Just to shut them up. Fleet are going nicely so far. Paramilitary training in Manchukuo. Let's see, we can do that. Help them out with keeping order inside their own nation. Sounds like a very good idea to me. We're getting there, slowly but surely. We are getting there. Alright. Alrighty. So... there's an uncommitted division up here belonging to one of our puppet states. They can join the army going up against China, just so we have some more divisions on the border. Though I don't think we'll be attacking with this army. Not directly into Beijing at the very least, because that's a large number of Chinese divisions on the border there. And I get the feeling that wouldn't go over too well if we tried to attack them, in terms of us actually succeeding, that is. Now, more of that. Deselect everyone who's not a Marine. I'll have them get on that. You guys go join up with the army in mainland China, so they can have some extra divisions. They're up to 18 now. Just most of them need to get there and get prepared. Also, maybe have those divisions start doing some combat training while we're waiting. Okay, that's a lot of events. Restoration of Austria-Hungary has been completed. King Otto is now the Emperor of Austria. Now, let's grab nationalized war industry. The Marco Polo Bridge incident. Chinese authorities claim the breaking point has been reached with regards to our unwarranted aggression, in inverted commas, towards China. Our demands for reparations have been refused, and there are reports of Japanese nationals coming under attack in Shanghai. If we needed an excuse to deal decisively with the Chinese, this is it.